To Business Development and Contract Compliance. My name is Nguyen, and this is Rainey. Today we are going to go over our A3. It's the contract transmittal process, and this is the process of setting up the contract into cards. The process of receiving the contract executed, and so we will identify some of the problem and come up with proposed enhancement, and hopefully we can improve this process. So the current background. So right now, Bdcc will receive notification from the web procurement when the contract is sent for execution and when a contract is executed. So we receive notification for that. Then after that, the contract specialist will, from the CAP team, will send the transmittal package, which is the contract document, to Bdcc manager, and then Bdcc manager will distribute the contract transmittal package to the data analyst to enter into the database. So here is the whole process. So what happened is when, after the contract is awarded or executed, it will transmit it to Bdcc. Then we will put that into our database called cards. And then we will set it up in our database and then create the post-award letter, which will include the username, password, all the requirement for the prime contractor. And then we send off that post-award letter to the prime contractor, then the process will end. Today, we are not going to talk about the whole process, but then we just want to focus on this red area right here. So the current condition that it's an estimated of 85% of contract executed is transmitted to Bdcc. The reason why we say it's only 85%, not saying that the remaining 15 have never come to us, but it's they wouldn't transmit it to us on time. The reason why we know is because a prime contractor would contacted us, email, phone call saying, hey, where's my contract? I need to access the database and report the payment and label our as contractual required so that we can get paid, because if they don't report, then we won't pay them. We can't pay them, but then the department will hold the payment. So the second reason why we know is, sometime project manager, King County project manager will contact us and say, hey, we have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow. Have you set up the contract in your database? Have you contacted the prime contractor? Have you tell them what are the requirements? Then we know, hey, we don't have that information to put it into our database. So this is what we need to fix. Future goal, we hope that we will receive 100% of all contracts execution transmitted to us within 2 days, if possible. Come to our analysis, duplication of efforts. Mary will talk about it, and then we can go into that. We think this is a manual process that they have to gather the document and they send it to us, so many steps. Lack of auditing, process error checking, maybe there is no report of checking whether a contract is transmitted to us, and they don't know. So so not all transmittals sent to Bdcc after contract execution.
Before I go into our countermeasures, I just want to point out one thing. The important purpose of the reporting into the CARTS reporting system on all of our advertised contracts is there are two mandated annual reports that the county executive's office is required by county ordinance and code to transmit to the county council. And one is the Contracting Opportunities Program for small contractors and suppliers. That's a report on how the county is doing in supporting the small businesses in our community and our contracting practices. It tends to provide information for us to strategize on how to improve and keep improving. The other report is apprenticeship report, and that's a report in construction contracts on labor hours. It's a report to help the county strategize on what to do for future workforce development. So that's it in a nutshell on that. After taking a look at and analyzing the issues within the red square, we took a look at steps that we could take to improve that process and fix the process. One is to add a transmitted status code to the existing web procurement database. As I understand it, currently there are status codes within that database describing where that contract is in its process. One is sent for transmittal, one is it's executed. So perhaps add a status code, I don't know how hard this is to do, that says it's been transmitted to business development and contract compliance for notification. And then include that step as part of the normal standard process for contract execution. And how are we going to implement this? As I mentioned, add Bdcc transmittal step to CAP checklist. If there is an existing checklist that identifies everything that's needed in order to transmit a contract, perhaps add that step. Has it been transmitted to, has Bdcc been notified that the contract's been executed? So add that to that checklist. And then create, as Phuong mentioned, create an error report. Instead of creating a report that lists out all King County contracts that have been executed within a certain period of time, perhaps create an aging report which reports the exception. So create a report that will only show those contracts that have a status of executed in the web procurement database, but haven't yet been transmitted to Bdcc for notification. So it would just be providing those contracts that we need then to take an extra step and take a look at where they are. And the results would be, we're all happy, and 100% of contracts that are executed, the notification has been transmitted to Bdcc within 2 days. And as a follow-up, now this is what I'm going to say is really important to remember, is we would like to socialize and work with our CAP partners, our CAP team, to work for a future system that's one system for Fbod. As Phuong, I'm not sure if you mentioned that yet or not, about the dollars that, because we're asking primes to report dollars that the county pays to them. And you're...
Yeah, it's just ridiculous where we have like one division with different database that we store the data to. I'm pretty sure that procurement has the same information that we do, like for example, contract number, title, prime contractors, project manager name, division, department, things like that. Hopefully that, in the future we can have a system where our database can link with the procurement, and so we can get that information when it's awarded. We can get that information into our database, so we don't have to manually key in those information again. Mm-hmm. That's duplication of efforts. And then also, like I mentioned, when we send the post-award letter to prime contractor, we want them to report in our database the dollar that they receive from King County. So if we pay them, they have to go into our system and tell us how much we pay them. Mm-hmm. And they would be like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Are you working for King County? Why do you want me to tell you how much you pay me? That's ridiculous. And so hopefully we can fix that problem in the future so they don't have to see that. Yeah.
They would just be reporting the things that the county system doesn't track. The primes would just be reporting subcontractor and supplier payments and their labor hours.
So it's not yet done, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the possibility of when it would actually get implemented?
The this here, I don't have an answer for this because that's a system-wide, division-wide budget decision.
Our next step would be communicate these two with the procurement team. Hopefully, if they already have the checklist, that would be very easy. But we haven't communicated with them.
What do you think, procurement?
Oh, are you from procurement?
Well, yes, I am. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I don't know. I would assume that you guys are talking to CAP already, so, I mean, I know that this has been an ongoing conversation, and we've been working since I got here to try to fix this issue, and so of course we would be happy to engage in whatever conversations. I think that one system is a bigger, as they alluded to, that's a much bigger project because we have very segregated systems right now, and so it would be about bringing all that together.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, yeah.
But these two here, I think we can start, I think these might be manageable to work with.
I think that would be the first thing we would do now, communicate with the CAP team to propose the very first item.
And I would say that second one, you should talk to them like right now, because we actually have work into KCIT to change our statuses and our databases across the floor, because we're making consistent statuses between goods and services and CAP already. And so we're already proposing new statuses be added, so you should talk to them, like I say, like right now.
Oh, that's right
Because
on.
we
I'm
can
talking to you.
maybe wrap that. But you see, the point of lean is that it doesn't happen.
Would that be with Christie or who would we?
So I would say talk to Darren, because the leads on our side met to figure out how to change that, because we actually have a proviso where we're supposed to be reporting the cycle time in each status, and so that's what caused us to do this work, and so it's very high priority with KCIT, and so,
Right on.
yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for the feedback on that, and we'll
Yeah.
take you up on that.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.